What's going on, everybody? Today, I'm trying something new. And the thing that I'm trying is learning how to move the camera around because I just saw on an ad that if you actually change up the camera angle, which is something I kind of already knew, you could hook people. You could grab people's attention, like right now, by me holding the camera like this. Do I have your attention? Let me know in the comment section whether or not it's working. But today, what I want to do, I want to talk to you guys about how trauma, and this is just my opinion, this is based off my experience, this is not absolute fact, but how trauma actually gets stored in your body and in your nervous system. Now, keep in mind, I want you guys to understand that I haven't read a book on this stuff probably since 2022. So I don't know any of the technical terms. I don't know what actually technically happens. I just know based off my experience working with people and based off the experience I've had kind of healing myself. And if you could just take what I'm about to say in bits and pieces, don't take anything as absolute truth or absolutely wrong, because one of the things I always say is that people tend to think in white or black when the truth is it's more gray. So do your best. I might use some metaphors or analogies that might not actually make sense to you, but you could take something out of it. It'd be pretty cool, right? So, how does trauma get stored in the body? And it's really, really interesting because I'm about to walk on this bridge, if you guys can see, right? I want to first talk about the nervous system. And this is, in my opinion, based off all the reading I've done, all of the research I've done, this is what happens in your nervous system. So right now I'm walking this bridge, right? And basically what's supposed to happen in life is you have 5 senses, eyesight, hearing, taste, smell, and touch, right? And there's events unfolding on the outside world that you're observing. And what's supposed to happen like right now, I'm looking down the bridge. What's supposed to happen every single moment of your life is an event unfolds, reality is unfolding, and the event comes through you and passes right on through you. Just like this bridge, if you look at the bridge, basically it's just supposed to go straight down. It's supposed to not leave any kind of impression on your nervous system. So for 99% of the time of your life, that's actually happening. Like right now, this bridge, the water, I'm observing the light over here. I'm looking at the camera. I'm just observing the experience. The experience is passing on through me. It's not leaving a mark on my nervous system. I'm basically indifferent to what actually happens. Like for instance, this bridge, although I like this bridge, if this bridge was to get taken away from me, like the government or whoever was to take away this bridge, and I enjoy this park, even this park, if they were to take away the park from me, it would suck. But I wouldn't throw a fit. I'd just be like, oh man, darn, they took the park away, right? So that's what's supposed to happen. You observe events in the outside world through your senses. It comes through you. The energy comes through you, and it passes right on through. Now, unfortunately, what happens? There's that 1% of the time where something hits your senses and you like it. Like you really, really like it. You enjoy it. And what ends up happening, as opposed to it passing through your nervous system, like this bridge is supposed to just pass right on through and leave you without leaving any mark. What you do is you grab it because you enjoy it. You enjoy the experience, the feeling, the sensation it's creating. You grab it and you throw it to, let's say, the right. So right now I'm going to pretend. So to the right of me is the things I like. These are the things I really, really like. So it could be, for me, a particular car, a particular band, whatever. These are things I really, really enjoy. Now, because I like them and I like the feeling and sensation it creates, what I'm constantly doing, and it's not me, it's more so my nervous system, more so my unconscious. What my nervous system is constantly doing is trying to figure out how to get that so it could feel that feeling and sensation all the time. Now, this might sound good, but what happens is you end up getting very, very clingy to what you want, right? So that's the first thing. So to the right of me is the things I like, right? So remember, it's supposed to pass right on through everything. You could like something, but you shouldn't have something have to happen in order for you to feel a feeling or a sensation that you enjoy. You should be able to just look out into the world and be like, oh, I'm on Earth. We're going through space. It's pretty cool. There's a great big ball of fire in the sky. There's so many things going on. Every moment is kind of extraordinary. And you should be able to just enjoy that. The fact that I'm able to move my hand, I'm able to make noises out of my mouth, I'm able to manipulate my tongue in such a way that I'm able to say things that actually could have an effect on other people. I should be able to just enjoy it, right? So that's the first thing. First thing, things are supposed to pass through your nervous system. You're not supposed to cling to anything. Unfortunately, what we end up doing is we cling. So an experience comes in, we enjoy it, we cling to it, we hold on to it, we throw it to the right, and the rest of our lives, what we're trying to do is attain that feeling or sensation. Now, there's the next thing, and this is the trauma. These are the triggers. These are the things you don't like. So, let's say an event unfolds, and it comes in through your senses. So the event unfolds, you observe reality through your five senses. An event unfolds, it comes in through your senses, and it creates a funny disturbance. Let's just call it pain. Let's just call it's not a good feeling. Now what happens is it creates the feeling or sensation, and because it doesn't feel good, we resist it. And what we end up doing is knocking it away. Let's call it even though this is my right, let's call it knocking it away to the right or the left, whatever. As opposed to allowing the pain to just pass on through, experience the pain fully, and let it pass on through. Which means you'll be clear, you'll be clean. But we don't do that because one, we haven't been taught to. Two, we're always told that we're not supposed to show that we're feeling bad. We haven't allowed ourselves to experience the feeling fully, experience the bad negativity that comes into us, and allow it to pass on through because we're told, hey, just keep moving forward. Just get up, keep moving forward, ignore it, suppress it, just keep going. Go to work, do the things you're supposed to do because you're an adult. You have responsibilities. You have papers you got to do. You have work you got to do, all that, right? So that's basically what happens. Events unfold. What's supposed to happen is they pass on through, whether it's a good feeling or a bad feeling. But what we end up doing is the feelings that we really, really like, we cling to. And the feelings that we don't like, we push them away. Now what happens is this stuff, the things we like and we don't like, these are called our preferences. What happens is because this stuff is in our nervous system, because it's inside of us, it left marks, this stuff actually controls you. So I'll give you an example. Not too long ago, I don't know if you guys remember, there was a thing where the guy stabbed the girl in the neck. I think they were either on the bus or the train. When I saw that experience, when I observed it on social media, it created a sensation in me where I kind of had to look away. And then I remember seeing the girl's face, like she actually looks at the guy and she starts crying. And I remember seeing that face, and it was like something I had to push away. I was like, oh, I can't look at this. Now, because I did that, because I resisted the feeling and sensation, for the next week, I live in New York City. For the next week, I take MTA a lot. I take public transportation a lot. And there's a lot of weirdos There's a lot of mentally ill people. It got to the point where because I didn't allow that experience to pass on through, I was very, very anxious getting on the bus, getting on the train, to the point where I would sit in a place where I could see everybody. I wanted to make sure that something like that will not happen to me. I was basically living in fear. Now, some of you might be saying, well, that's smart. That's reasonable. Yes, it is. But I should be doing it from a place of clarity, not from a place of fear. So I'll say it again. I should be doing it from a place of clarity, not from a place of fear. And that was basically how I was living for a little while. For like the next week or two, I allowed that experience that I observed, which, you know, me observing it through social media, I took it in through my eyes, through my senses, and I didn't allow the feeling to pass on through. What I should have done is sat with the feeling, allowed the experience to happen, sit with the feeling and sensation, and allow myself to go through the pain. That way it passes on through, and it wouldn't have left that mark on me. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not going to remember that incident to where I start making decisions to protect myself. But I shouldn't be making decisions to protect myself based out of fear. So, that's basically how trauma gets stored in the body. Now, what I want you to realize, these things that you like, these things that you dislike, they're meant to go. They're meant to pass on through. Like the yogis call it samskaras, impressions. They're not meant to stay in there. Yes, there's things, you could like things and you could dislike things, but it shouldn't have to happen in the way that you want it to happen in order for you to be happy. So for instance, like I said, I like this bridge. I like this park. But I'm not so attached to this park to where if it got taken away from me, I'll be like, oh, that sucks. However, if I came to this park every day, and this is the park I make content in every day. I shoot 3 pieces of content every single day. I grew my social media following because of this park. Let's say I call it, this park is called Silver Lake. Let's say my page is called Experiences in Silver Lake. My whole page, my whole way I make money is based off Silver Lake Park, me recording in Silver Lake Park, and whatever I shoot, let's say courses or experiences or whatever. I get paid through ads, whatever. This is my identity. This is the way I make money. All of a sudden, they take this park away from me. I'm going to be destroyed. I'm probably going to fight. I'm going to fight for my job, right? However, because I'm not so attached to this park, I like the park, I enjoy the park. If it got taken away from me, I'd just be like, oh, that sucks. And it's the same thing where if you could not like things, but it shouldn't be to the point where I remember the guy that got shot in the neck. What's his name? Whatever. He was at the college. And there's people literally, because he got killed, there was people literally online celebrating the fact that he's dead. Like, that shouldn't bring you joy. Even if he was whatever you think he was, you shouldn't be so attached to that. To the fact that you don't like that person to that degree. You could not like somebody and he could get killed and you'd be like, oh, okay, he died. Like, doesn't bother me that he died. But it shouldn't be to where you require that to happen for you to feel some type of sensation because something you really, really hate is gone. I hope this is making sense, right? So remember, everything, for the most part, and this is how trauma gets stored in your body, is basically you've resisted an event in the past, you've resisted the energy as it came through your senses, you kind of like pushed it away. And what I want you to realize is these energies, these feelings, these sensations, they're always constantly trying to come up. This is why when people try to meditate, they sit down, they get very, very fidgety. It's like this energy, it's like, oh, I can't sit down. Or maybe you're laying down at bed at night and your mind just keeps racing. It's because what's going on is these things that you stored inside, they're constantly trying to pass on through. The problem is you either push them away or you cling on to them. And the things you cling on to, again, is the things you like. So what you got to learn to do is when these feelings and sensations and energy comes up in your body. And how do you know it's happening? Usually you get it in your body. This is why I like the somatic practices, because what happens is you become more and more aware of your physical body. Because a lot of us are just stuck in our head. We're trying to do things with our thoughts. A lot of people have never actually experienced their body. This is why my guided releases that I've been posting on Instagram have been doing so well. Even though people have been DMing me and saying, yo, I've been doing yoga for years. All these physical practices, how come I haven't had the release that I had doing your little 15-minute practice where you're barely doing anything? Because the whole idea of a physical practice, such as yoga, is for you to actually experience what's going on in your body. The idea is not for you to get more flexible or stretchy or more fit, because people tend to think that if you open up your body, you'll release trauma. That's not true. It can happen, but I know a lot of dancers. I trained 3 dancers in my life who had a lot of trauma. They're very, very flexible. Very flexible. Any position you want them to get into, splits, all that, their hips are open, all of that. They are able to do that. So it's not so much like a physical thing, it's an awareness thing. You have to learn to become aware of what's going on in your physical being. And when you're aware of it, because just realize that this is the stuff you stored inside, whether it's past life, genetics, whatever, it's always trying to come up. Always. And if you allow it to come up, you allow, let's call it the suffering, the pain to come up, and know that you're going to be okay. And in time, it will pass on through. Now, this healing, this journey of healing could happen relatively quickly. I've seen it. Because I saw recently on a post that I did like a couple of posts ago, people saying, oh, you can't heal 20 years of trauma by doing a simple ritual. And I'm like, okay, I mean, if that's what you believe, then it's probably true. And I'm not just going off of this belief stuff, is you sound like you're a control freak. You basically try to control reality. Healing is not about control. Healing is about allowing things to pass on through. I say that again. Healing is not about control. Healing is about allowing things to pass on through. And the basic word for it is letting go. And people think letting go is just like, oh, you just shrug your shoulders, I let go. No, no, no. When you let go, it's actually a process. And the process itself is a little bit painful. It's like they say in the Bible, you need to die to be reborn again. Or, you could use Jesus as a metaphor where he suffered for our sins. He's basically going through the pain and transmuting the pain to a higher level of consciousness. And that's basically, in my opinion, what's going on every single moment. Now, is this the absolute truth? No. But I hope, based off what I just said, it made somewhat sense. I'm probably going to have to rewatch it and be like, did that make sense here? I was probably going all over the place. But I hope you understand what I'm saying. Every event that's unfolding, you're supposed to allow it to pass on through. No attachments. Yes, you could like things, you could dislike things, but it shouldn't create a charge. Now, the reason why we have trauma is because an event unfolded that we did not like. It was extremely painful, and we didn't allow it to pass on through. We did something with our thoughts. We pushed it away. We distract ourselves from it, or even worse, I usually get in trouble when I say this. We went out and expressed it. Because, often I say now expression is a form of suppression. And I'm talking about expression of emotions, not expression of yourself. You are not your feelings. You are not your emotions. You are not your thoughts. You're a higher being than an emotion. Okay? So I hope this makes sense. Allow things to pass on through. When things pass on through, it's painful. It sucks. But it's controlling you. It literally controls your life. And if you could open yourself up to the experience that's actually going on within you, maybe, just maybe, we could heal a little bit of trauma. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Hopefully it made sense. Please, as always, if you made it this far, give me some feedback. Peace.